cold and raining at an abortion clinic outside St. Louis, Missouri.
We just want to let you know that we're here for you.
26-year-old Reagan Barklage aims for a soft approach, but she is here to try to intercept women and talk them out of an abortion.
When women pull up to the driveway, we can go up to the vehicle and just say, hi, how are you? How can we help you? We're here to offer free resources today.
Are you ready?
Barklage, who works at Students for Life, an anti-abortion group, is part of a highly motivated community that wants two things: Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court and more anti-abortion Republicans in the U.S. Senate.
My faith tells me that I need to do something to end the injustice. So for me, it's not a religious issue, it's a human rights issue.
So that's 2 buildings over.
A few hours later, in downtown St. Louis, Pamela Merritt is also incredibly motivated in the opposite direction.
Missouri is teetering on a brink, the likes of which I have never seen, and I've been doing this for a while.
She organized a conference this weekend for progressive campaign activists after building her own nonprofit to advocate for abortion access.
The women who are overwhelmingly impacted by restrictions and also by criminalization are poor women of color and who look just like me and who deserve access to abortion without limits and without restrictions.
The two women with counter campaigns share a current focus: how a potential Justice Kavanaugh could impact the future of the Supreme Court's landmark 1973 decision to legalize abortion, Roe v. Wade.
It means everything. You know, right now, despite our best efforts, we are looking at a nominee who would cement a 5-judge, all-male conservative court that is opposed to abortion.
This Supreme Court nomination is huge because this will determine history and it could reverse what's already been done.
You want it overturned?
I would love to see Roe v. Wade go back to the states and have go back to where people can vote on it.
I'm resolute.
So would, it seems, Missouri's Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, Josh Hawley.
We believe that every person is created in the image of God, that every person has inherent dignity and value, that every person deserves the right to life.
Hawley, the state's attorney general, has called Roe v. Wade one of the most unjust decisions in U.S. history. And he's centering part of his campaign against 2-term Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill around the court. Recent polling shows Hawley and McCaskill are neck and neck.
The eyes of the nation are on Missouri. We decide which values control the Senate and the Supreme Court. Claire McCaskill wants liberals in charge. That's how she votes.
Kavanaugh privately met with McCaskill last month. She has not announced how she'll vote. She got an overflow crowd in rural Franklin County Saturday, a group of Democrats that want her to vote no on Kavanaugh. The former prosecutor explained the pressures coming from both sides.
He goes, oh, she's trying to figure out what the winner is for her politically. There is none. No matter what I do, there are downsides to it.
Missouri has been a hotbed of debate and court action over abortion since the 1970s, and a factor in McCaskill's last race 6 years ago. Her opponent then, Republican Todd Akin, sparked outrage when he said,
if it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down.
McCaskill really exploited that, and that helped her a huge victory that fall.
St. Louis Public Radio's Joe Manis has covered Missouri politics for almost 4 decades. She says this year stands out for the dollar signs. Outside groups have poured over $27 million into Missouri, the most of any Senate seat this year. One conservative group launched a statewide bus tour about Kavanaugh. Others are blitzing TV screens.
President Trump has nominated another fair, independent justice. Will Senator McCaskill stand with us or them?
The fight has soured some voters on both Senate candidates.
I'm not too thrilled about either of them because not necessarily about them personally, but neither of them are interested in what I'm interested in.
But in others, you see the state's sharp divide.
I am a pro-choice woman, so I really don't like the idea that my government can tell me what to do with my body.
The fact that I don't believe in abortion is a big deal for me.
McCaskill also has a geography problem. She needs some moderate voters from the suburbs, and she also needs more liberal voters in the cities to pour out for her.
She has to keep the progressives energized. some of the abortion rights activists in the state who are telling her she needs to be more upfront on the issue.
Like Pamela Merritt.
On the issue of abortion in general, I think Senator McCaskill is too timid.
Merritt is tapped into key campaign groups like the abortion rights group NARAL, whose office she visited to plan an upcoming demonstration.
Nice, perfect. I'm not a moderate. I'm an unapologetic lefty, and the number one reason why I elected or voted for Claire McCaskill was because the Supreme Court is on the line. There you go.
Merritt also lives in the city of St. Louis. She's the kind of fiery progressive McCaskill needs to excite. Out in the suburbs,
I like having the shade open because
Reagan Barklage is precisely the kind of Republican Josh Hawley needs, conservative and motivated.
if Josh Hawley were elected, I definitely think that he would confirm Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. And I don't think McCaskill will confirm him to the Supreme Court, and their vote matters. This is a battleground state.
And pressure over Kavanaugh is mounting now. The Senate is expected to vote this month, meaning McCaskill will have to make her decision soon.
And I'm going to stand here and take pictures with people.
And come down on one side of this heated campaign issue.